I see you there, but you must wait. A scholar's work is seldom urgent, but I have a request from the king himself. It seems the Ansei wards have been misplaced. Wait, I should not have... just forget I said that. You did? It has occurred to me that the Withered Hand might seek to use the wards to raise the consecrated dead at Tuwhaka's throne. I am relieved that you stopped them. So now we just need to find the other two wards. My apprentice Shiri is traveling with Prince Azah, trying to find answers, but they need my research. Let me work. I will ensure you are notified when we know more. It seems the power of the Ansei wards is somehow linked to their lives of the Ansei who created them. By learning about the Ansei, I hope to get an idea of where the Withered Hand may take the wards. Now, leave me to my work.
You may be safer in the desert than in Bergamo, Wayfarer.
Buying and selling.
Sand covers all things given time.
This is not good. Not good at all. I've killed a skeleton or two in my day, but this is worse than that. We are going to need more Ashaba. You? I'm pretty good with faces, but I don't know yours. You must have just joined then. Either way, welcome to the tribe. It's good that you're here. Do you understand why I am concerned? Some of the greatest heroes in history are buried here. Kings, queens, legendary warriors. If they've risen, it is Ashaba duty to kill them, and that's not going to be easy. There is. I maintain vigil here to ensure that certain ancient heroes, let's just say, if they're raised, that's a problem. With what's happened here, I need someone to check their graves. If they're up and about, they need to be put down. Thank you. This is no small thing, I ask, and I appreciate you stepping up. The 3 graves I need you to check belong to Homage Arena, Yokita Razul, and Queen Afsar. They changed the course of history. They deserve to rest now. I'll mark the graves' locations on your map. I'd go with you, but I have to watch and ensure they don't slip by. There are other Ashaba who can join you, though. You want one skilled in swordplay, or one who's adept at restoration magic? You're brave to cross blades with these heroes yourself. Don't worry, though. This man will ensure you do not fall. There are many heroes buried here, to be sure. But these 3 are the ones Ashaba scholars are most concerned about. They were extremely powerful in life, and scholars fear they could be extremely dangerous in death.
To flanks!
Spread out! the sides!
There's no need for me to ask whether the heroes had been raised when you found them. I only need to know, are they now at rest? Then you fulfilled the duty of the Ashaba here, and saved me a dung heap of trouble. As we Ashaba always say, true honor need not be named. I hope we cross paths again.
Bird'll do nicely.
I do not know.
I'm quite busy. Can't you see?
Too much to do and too little time.
I've done all that I can. Tuaka guided your footsteps here at the perfect moment, brother. There is a Shaba work to be done. The Withered Hand has taken over the port. The situation is strange, though, to say the least. The Withered Hand launched a surprise attack against Tava's blessing. They killed everyone and everything, even the livestock. The strange thing is, they have not raised the dead. I do not know, but I fear they planned something terrible. Prince Azah and his men are barricaded in the warehouse at the eastern edge of town. He may have learned more about what these fiends are planning. You should go to him. I hope the prince has learned more. I believe the Withered Hand has brought one of the Ansei wards here, and that does not bode well. You were at Tuaka's throne, were you not? So, you know that as well as anyone. I wish I could tell you. Faharajad's naval shipyards are here, but I cannot imagine why the Withered Hand would care about that. I hear these were sacred grounds back in the days of the Ansei. Perhaps that is what drew the Withered Hand here.
Circle around!
I heard the commotion out there, and somehow I knew it was you. I can't tell you how good it is to see you, my illustrious friend. As you can see, we are in dire straits here, and it's on the verge of getting even worse. That fiend Alasan is here. With Huafa dead, he has the Withered Hand dedicated to his own twisted designs. He seeks power. Reason they aren't raising these people. It's because Alasan plans to turn himself into a lich. He has corrupted one of the Ansei wards, and he's using some kind of necromantic focuses to channel energy from the dead for a ritual he's conducting in the lighthouse. He says this ritual will make him a lich. Will you help me stop him? I believe it's best to destroy the focuses first. Alasan's minions have been piling the dead around them, and they seem to be channeling energy for the ritual. Destroy the focuses. Then go to the lighthouse and find a way to disrupt Alasan's ritual.
go around! Now! Kill!
Now!
You've come too late! The ritual has begun, and you cannot strike me down! You are the one who killed my brother Uafa, are you not? I will grant that you are likely a formidable foe. But once I become a Lich, I will burn you to cinders. There's nothing you can do to stop me now! The ritual has begun, and I am already bound to the Anse ward as it is bound to me! If you strike me down, the blade will be shattered! You broke the Anse ward. You think that will stop me? I am not finished.
After so many centuries, it is a wonder I can still be surprised. I could not abide the necromancer corrupting my ward, but I was powerless to stop him. Your actions have shattered the blade, but you made the right choice. You have my gratitude. Shattering the blade was the only way, albeit there were consequences. Necromantic energy was released, causing the dead of Tava's blessing to rise. The necromancer himself is not a lich, but he has become a powerful spirit. No, he cannot be slain now. There is a way, but I am fading. With the ward broken, my strength wanes quickly. I will presently go to the far shores unless you can reforge the blade. We need the gods' favor. For Tava, capture the desert wind. For Morwa, get the milk of a goat. And for Zet, gather the earth from a fallen warrior's grave. With these elements, reforge the blade. Then bring it to the Anse Shrine.
You are undone by your own heroics, dog. I may not be a lich, but I have an army of undead. you will die. You will die, and then you will join my army. Meddled with my affairs long enough. It is time to end this.
Yes, the time has come to end this evil.
What are you doing here? Your ward is broken, Ansei. You are no threat to me.
Now, take the ward and use it to trap Alasan.
What are you doing? No!
I feared that after all these years, my sacrifice would prove to be of no avail, but you performed admirably. We cannot kill that necromancer, but he will trouble us no more. He became some kind of specter, and he bound himself to my ward. But that allowed me to imprison him within it. He is contained now. The important thing is that the ward is restored and can again protect the Alakir Desert. For that, I thank you. I sense that the Third Ward is in the greatest peril of all. The sibling of the necromancer who came here is far more skilled in the dark arts, far more dangerous, and far more ambitious. The sibling I speak of has not been slain, and has possession of the third Ansei ward, but I cannot sense its location. Despite our victory here, the Alakir Desert is still in danger. Whatever has befallen, you must recover the third ward. I do not know, but trust your destiny, for it will lead you where you need to be. First, though, you must secure my ward. Find someone you can entrust with its keeping. I sense that we will meet again. May the gods watch over you until then.
What foulness is afoot now? The dead have risen? I thought Alasan was purposefully not raising them. Are we too late? Has Alasan made himself into a lich? He's not? Oh, we should rejoice then! That bastard! I relish the knowledge of his defeat. Without him, the rest of these necromancers do not concern me. Not in the least. What of the Anse Ward? Do you have it? And you brought it to me? That's quite an honor. I promise you, for as long as I live, it will not fall into enemy hands again. Now, only the final Anse Ward remains. But if Uwafa and Alasan are gone, who has it? Another sibling? But who could that be? Wait, Satura did have another child, a very young daughter. I remember her now, nipping at her brother's heels. I do not remember her name. Somehow we must find her, though.
I think I know where to find the third Anse Ward. It seems the necromancer Alasan underestimated you. I was hiding outside the lighthouse. After you disrupted the ritual, I went in and found Alasan's notes. I think I know where the Withered Hand has taken the third Anse Ward. Hunding's Watch. The Withered Hand is seeking out the birthplaces of the Anse who forged the wards. Just as Alasan did here, they can use these locations to corrupt the wards. The third Anse, Halela, was born near Hunding's Watch. I am sure of nothing, but this is my suggestion for where you should begin your search. There is a wise woman in Hunding's Watch, Priestess Sermon. Perhaps she can give you more insight. Since both Alasan and Uwafa have been dealt with, the Withered Hand may be considerably weakened. Perhaps the third Anse Ward is closer at hand than you realize. If the gods are with you, I believe you will recover it quickly. My name is Shiri. I am apprenticed to Scholar Zoré in Bergama. She sent me along to assist Prince Azah in tracking down the second Anse Ward. I prefer to help you and the prince further, but Zoré wants me back in Bergama. I could spend hours telling you about the role the Third Ward has played in history, but I would only put you to sleep. All you need to know is that the Withered Hand has it, and Hunding's Watch is the best place to start your search. Don't you? You foiled their plans here and at Tuwaka's throne. You defeated both Uwafa and Alasan. I would imagine the Withered Hand is in considerable disarray.
Satakal was the first serpent. The first. Shiri? I do not know this name, nor do I know anything about any Ansei ward. I know only that Satakal will soon devour himself. Devour us all. We must warn them. Or must we? No, it matters not.
It is good to see you again, my friend. Now I understand why Tuwaka bid me to come here to Hunding's watch. If you are to save the Alakir Desert from the Withered Hand, there are things you must learn from the spirits of this place. Yes, many of them. And pilgrims come from all over Hammerfell to honor them, the heroes of our greatest wars. It is usually a quiet affair, but when one such as you arrives, spirits of friend and foe alike awaken to create a portrait of the past. To teach you, if you are to be champion of the Alakir, you must understand the spirit of this desert and its people. Tuwaka says you must walk in the steps of our heroes, battle the spirits of the enemies they faced. Then you will understand. First, you will face the Nidic peoples. When the Ragada first crashed on these shores, the Needs were first to challenge them. Fight the Nidic soldier spirits, claim their essences, and use them to summon and face their leader, War Chief Hakon.
You are not welcome here. We will defend our land.
In our fight against the Needs, we saw the raw power of defiance. We came to respect Tamriel and its warriors. You must now battle the giant Goblinkin. The Ragada's long road to conquest was paved with thousands of these beasts' corpses. Such things are difficult to imagine, yes. In those times, goblins were mighty beasts, and their cruelty was not tempered by cowardice as it is now. Their filthy strongholds littered the sands of Hammerfell like a pox when the Ragada arrived. Horrible indeed. Our Yokudan ancestors could not tolerate such a blight on their new homeland. They would suffer no rivals, and so one of their mightiest heroes, Frandar Hunding, rallied the swords of the Ragada to slay the beasts. Tuwaka claimed him during one of the bloodiest battles of the campaign. But his son, Divad, filled with wrath over the slaying of his father, soon rose to take command of the Ragada. He swore to avenge his father, no matter the cost. The Song of Divad tells us that he and his band of sword singers worked their sacred forges and consulted eldritch tomes for many long years to create 5 great swords. With these blessed blades, the Ragada forever vanquished the giant goblins. Well, Tuwaka tells me that you must do battle with the spirits of the long-dead giant Goblinkin. To what end? I do not know. But only fools doubt Tuwaka's wisdom. Ironically, it was in our fight against the hideous goblins that we came to love the desert and its simple beauty. Now you must face the proud orc warriors of ancient Orsinium. The fight for the Orc City proved to be one of our greatest trials. It is the heart of Orcdom in Tamriel, settled at the foot of the Hrothgarian Mountains. It is a city of simple things, towering and cold. It has been razed and rebuilt countless times. The orcs are a tenacious people. Conquerors is a strong word, but yes, of course they were. Our ancestors and the Bretons laid siege to the city for 30 years before finally breaching the walls and razing the city. The orcs proved to be fearsome adversaries. You must face the ancient orcish specters in battle, and then summon and defeat their leader, General Thashaga. Tuwaka says there is great wisdom to be gleaned from this.
You are not welcome here. We will defend our land.
Every man has his price. Mine is 10 gold.
The swords of Yukuda were not often sheathed. Our long siege of Orsinium taught us the value of patience. Now you must face the forces of the Breton king Joal, a treacherous asp, whose lust for power led to broken alliances and countless sorrows. He was the king of Daggerfall during the siege of Orsinium. The embers of the Orcish hold had not even cooled before he took up arms against our ancestors, his former allies. He was slain by a heroic sword singer at the Battle of Bankarai Pass. You must slay the perfidious spirits of King Joal's Breton army. Then King Joal himself, I suspect. Tuwaka shall be watching.
Stupid Redguard, you served your purpose. Now you will die.
Wounded. Thirsty.
Joal's betrayal taught us yet another virtue. Caution. Wariness. We remain slow to trust, but loyal beyond measure. You have reached the summit. The Make-Way God sees much at this height. Have you learned the greatest lesson of this place? The greatest lesson of Hundig's watch is this. Wars are fleeting, but honor is eternal. The dunes of time are ever shifting. Kings rise and fall. Cities are raised and rebuilt. Alliances are forged and broken. But honor, glory, legend remains. Your valor strikes a mighty bell. The heroes have come here themselves. Makela Leki, Derek Hallen, and both Frandar and Divad Hunding. Their spirits have come here to meet you, to challenge you, and to teach you. No, you will not cross blades. The Sword Singers were as much mages as warriors. They sought strength of body and of mind. These spirits will speak to you. Choose your words with care, though. Tuwaka says they seek to teach and to test.
The blades are forbidden. We must not use them.
Without them, our people, our civilization will die.
Taking up those blades may lead to something far worse than death.
All choices exact a toll, Wayfarer. Some are trivial, But some linger for generations. I was forced to drink from a bitter cup in my time, and all Redguards have paid the price. I wonder if you would have made the same choice. Giant goblins, beasts thought conquered by Divad, have returned. The fight goes poorly. You know the location of powerful magicked blades, but they are dangerous. They were hidden for a reason. Do you seek out the blades, or fight on without them? You would have met a glorious end. We chose the blades and destroyed the beasts. But as a result, the Shahai, our spirit swords, were forever destroyed. Centuries of wondrous tradition was snuffed out. I must bear this weight, always.
The goblins approach, my lord. They will slaughter our scouts.
We must hold this pass or the war is lost. Their sacrifice will be remembered always.
Many of our noblest warriors will be slain. How can you turn your back to them?
A goat will run if you strike it. A jackal may bite if you give chase. Only man can choose to do nothing. The path of restraint is often the hardest. I pose to you a question, one that still haunts me. You are a scout for a great army, perched on a mountainside. In the pass below, a band of enemy soldiers slowly approach the position of your dearest friend. Do you abandon your post to help your friend, or do you remain hidden to report the attack? Yes, your friend may die if you do not render aid. But if you fail to report the assault, is not the entire army put at risk? How many men could lose their lives for this one soldier? One's loyalties are truly put to the test.
We must consider negotiation, my son.
To the dogs with that! Hira has killed my mother. He killed your wife.
What you say is true. But many more wives and sisters will die if we take up the sword.
This cave has made a coward of you. We must fight!
To choose for oneself is simple. To choose for a nation is hard. The heaviest blade is as a feather compared to the trust of one's people. Abide with me, and listen carefully. A tyrant threatens your people. If you submit to him, and become his willing thrall, your people will be shown mercy. If you attack, you and your people will be driven from your homeland, and exiled to the sea. What do you do? I too choose to attack. But all choices bear a cost, Wayfarer. When the last sword was sheathed in the shadow of Mount Hatu, the dead were beyond counting. Many more were lost at sea during the Exodus. Was the price of honor too high?
I spent my early years as a maiden of the Spirit Blade. As early as I can remember. Great heroes often carry the greatest regrets. They lie buried in the sand with the bones and broken blades, hidden, forgotten. I had many stories to pass on, but only one is known. Hearken to me. You have won a great battle and covered yourself in glory, but you are gravely wounded. A magical memory stone will allow you to record your last thoughts. Do you think of the battle recording history? Or do you immortalize your beloved family? The battle was important, yes. But is love not also worthy of remembrance? I thought of my training and the details of the battle, but as I turned my thoughts to family, death silenced me. Now they are forgotten, lost for all time.
Tu'whacca tells me the heroic spirits have returned to their slumber. Ah, only Tu'whacca has such knowledge, my friend. I could barely hear you from here. Luckily, Tu'whacca has shared some of his wisdom with me. Tu'whacca tells me that you are bound to the greatest of Redguard virtues, honor and loyalty. You are drawn to great summits and glorious ends. Hold fast to that courageous spirit. But know that sometimes we must make sacrifices for the greater good. What? No! I simply thought you'd like to know what Tu'whacca thought of you. He is an excellent judge of character. No. The real lesson of these heroes is that legend always carries a price. You must be prepared to pay that toll when it comes. Tu'whacca extends his hand. You need only enter the portal, and you will be transported back to the desert below.
Please, tell me you have seen her. Shiri, the Scholar's apprentice. Have you seen her? She had the ancient text from the Withered Hand necromancer at Tava's Blessing. She was supposed to go back to Bergama, but she never made it. We knew Shiri believed the Third Ward was here, and that you came this way, so we were hoping. Alas, there is one other place she might be, but I am too weak to make the journey. Will you take on the search for Shiri in my stead? It is not just Shiri. It is the text she found at Tava's Blessing. Scholar Zorre says it must be kept away from the Withered Hand. Shiri has a cousin in Satakalam, Nahira. Please, you must go and see if Shiri is there. Thank you, my friend. Prince Azaz said you were indispensable. I now see why. You do an old soldier a great favor by helping. I hope Shiri is not hurt, and even more so, I hope that text has not been taken again by the Withered Hand. I was beset by many troubles on the journey from Tava's Blessing. Scorpions, Dune Rippers, and then, not far from here, I was ambushed by the Withered Hand. I managed to kill the dirty dogs, but not before they had hurt me pretty good. Yes, I just need time to rest, to eat, and to properly bandage my wounds. Finding Shiri is too important, though. I would have made myself go on, however slowly, if you were not here. I do not know, but it is all we have to go on. Scholar Zorre was almost certain Shiri would have come here, but she suggested Satakalam as her next guess. Shiri was not close to her cousin, but Zorre said she planned to visit Nahira someday. She needs to take that text she found in Tava's Blessing and bring it back to Zorre and Bergama. If you are willing, I would suggest you escort the girl there yourself. She seems to have a talent for getting lost.
truly have no mercy.
What happened here? This is terrible. Did the Imperials do this? I hope Shiri was not here. Did you find any evidence that she visited? The leaders of the Withered Hand? But that would mean... Shiri is one of them too? A necromancer? You think... Tears of Set, with that text, and we have no idea where she is. This is unthinkable. Shiri came to me only a few months ago, but she seemed so dedicated. Of course she was. She was studying the Ansei wards. How could I not have seen this? I hope we find her before she does something terrible. I just don't know. Her brothers are dead, and we have recovered 2 of the Ansei wards. Does she have the 3rd? Is the Withered Hand now under her command? Was it all along? There are so many questions. I will need time. Time we don't have. It was not easy. I had to sneak by the Imperials, but I was worried about the book Shiri was carrying. I was worried the Withered Hand would get their hands on it. Unfortunately, though, it seems they already had it. I'm not sure. Perhaps the Motalian necropolis? Her father's remains are there. Yes, that may be where Shiri has gone. It is just on the other side of Sata Kalam, After the Imperials are driven out of the city, getting into the necropolis will be easier.
They say you are the one who fights the Withered Hand. Tu'whacca watch over you.